Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hey, welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have another great show ready for you tonight. Next to me is a brother in arms in the voting to legalize marijuana, Mr. Max Bortnick with the Wild Zombie Mad Max varieties. And next to me is that other wild and crazy guy, Mr. Casper Leach. Over in the wings, John Cornett is kind enough to come in and play us a tune again tonight. Thank you, John.
You're welcome, brother.
And we'll be back momentarily after the infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves.
Now, get the fuck out of the way.
Our first story tonight is from right here in River City, Portland, Oregon. Those subjects who consume cannabis more than 5 times per month possess, on average, a lower body mass index, or BMI, than do those who do not use the substance, according to data published online ahead of print in the journal Archives of Osteoporosis. Researchers at Oregon's Health Science University assessed the relationship between cannabis use and a variety of health outcomes in a nationally representative sample of 4,743 participants between the ages of 20 and 59. The authors reported, quote, heavy users of cannabis had a lower mean BMI compared to that of never users, with a mean BMI of 26.7 kilograms per meter in heavy users, 28.4 kilograms in never users. The findings consistent with those of prior reviews, such as those in other studies. On average, more regular consumers of cannabis spent more time per day engaging in daily physical activity than did occasional users or never users. The investigators reported no relationship between cannabis use prevalence and changes in bone mineral density of the hip or spine. In preclinical models, cannabinoid administration has been associated with bone-stimulating effects. Overall, 60% of the subjects reported having used cannabis at some point during their lives. 47% of the respondents said they were former users. 7% say they were regular users, while 5% define themselves as occasional users. This study, Cannabis Use and Bone Mineral Density, appears in the Archives of Osteoporosis. Next story is out of Albany, New York. Newly enacted regulatory changes to the state's medical cannabis program are expected to result in an increased patient access, according to New York authorities. As of this week, patients suffering from chronic pain conditions are now eligible for the first time in New York to qualify for cannabis therapy. In January, a National Academy review of over 10,000 scientific abstracts acknowledged that conclusive evidence exists to support the use of cannabis in pain treatment. Another change in the program allows physician assistants to provide medical marijuana recommendations in New York. Previously, only doctors and nurse practitioners were eligible to recommend cannabis therapy to qualified patients. Under the law, recommending physicians must register with the state. To date, fewer than 900 have done so. Currently, less than 14,500 patients are registered in New York's statewide program, a comparatively low number compared to other states of its size. Hopefully, adding chronic pain will allow more people to access medical cannabis. To the north of us, out of Olympia, Washington, the percentage of young people consuming marijuana has not been adversely impacted or increased by changes in state law regulating its adult use and distribution, according to 2016 data compiled by the Washington State Department of Social and Health Services. Results from the 2016 Health Survey, which surveys over 230,000 students in grades 6 through 12, rates of teen marijuana use have remained steady post-legalization. The department issued similar findings when they last published a survey in 2015. In contrast, a separate review of national survey data in the journal JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics, in February, reported a slight uptick in self-reported past month marijuana use among Washington 8th graders and 10th graders, but not among 12th graders in the years 2013 and 2015. That same analysis, which reviewed national survey data compiled by the Monitoring the Future, reported no increased use among 8th and 10th graders or 12th graders in Colorado. Nationally, self-reported cannabis use by high schoolers has fallen significantly since the late 1990s, despite multiple states liberalizing their marijuana laws and penalties during the same time period. The authors of the study found, quote, "We had predicted based on the changes in legalization culture in the United States, as well as decreasing perceptions among teenagers, that marijuana was harmful and that accessibility and use would go up, but it has gone down," end quote, said Nora Valco, the director of the U.S. National Institute on Drug Abuse, or NIDA, in December. Our next story is out of Providence, Rhode Island. Taxing and regulating the marijuana market in Rhode Island, which was just passed by voters in November, will generate nearly $50 million in new annual tax revenue for the tiny state of Rhode Island, according to a report issued this week by the advocacy coalition Regulate Rhode Island. According to the report, commercial sales of cannabis are estimated to reach $161 million by 2020. Taxing this retail market at rates comparable to those in Colorado or Washington would yield about $50 million per year. Legislation, the Adult Use of Cannabis Act, is pending in the Rhode Island House and Senate to regulate the commercial production and sale of cannabis to adults. Similar legislation is also pending in Connecticut. Voters in Massachusetts passed a similar measure by voter initiative in November. So that's the end of our Hemp News segment tonight. Mr. John Cornett's going to play some music. We'll be back to take your phone calls, questions, and have some of Max's videos momentarily.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
I'm hanging in here. How about yourself?
Hey, you know, we're proof that the show must go on.
That's right. The show must go on.
Seriously. Thank you for being here, by the way.
Me too.
This is a song I wrote a long time ago for this show, actually. It's about the truth, you know. We just need to start thinking about the truth a little bit.
All right. Thank you, John.
That a little bit.
Another great rendition. I love that song. Hey, welcome to the show, Max. It's good to have you on here.
Nice to be here.
Hey, Casper, I'll let you shake hands too.
Okay.
Welcome, viewers. Hey, Max, you have been an activist and proponent of voting to legalize marijuana most of your adult life, like myself.
Yes, sir.
And active here, and you've got this particular strain. That's your wild zombie, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe we can get one of those cameras over there to close in on your psychedelic magazine here. And we can, now if somebody wanted to see this, where would they look online, Max?
Just on Facebook. I got
Facebook?
pictures posted for everyone to look at, no cost at all.
So it's Facebook, is there a specific
Oh, they probably look up Max Bortnick or Marijuana Max.
Marijuana Max or Max Bortnick? And you have the VTLM. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yes,
How-
sir.
How you came up with VTLM? It's kind of your signature line.
Well, back about 40 years ago, people used to say, vote to legalize it. And I didn't understand, what is it? You know, are we gonna vote to legalize my shoe? And we understand it's marijuana. So I came up with vote to legalize marijuana by saying,
Oh, we
why
don't
did I
have
come up with it? I expounded upon it by saying what we actually wanted to legalize. And about 5 years ago, we needed to shorten it to an acronym so that states that were really against marijuana, you could still wear the, because we're putting it on shirts, wear the message to vote to legalize marijuana, and yet still be a little clandestine from the police department and
Right.
other
Which was
people.
always a worry in the old days. Okay. So there's your, it's very colorful and psychedelic. I like it. You also have rolling papers.
Those are the
So,
small ones.
yeah, you've got the king size ones as well. So we are taking your phone calls tonight. If you're out there and you have a question for us, you can call us at 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. And I think we have a caller standing by. Let's see if we can bring that caller in. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing pretty well. How are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you were aware of the study by, it was Lumsford and Martin at back at Rumsford University. This was in 2006 regarding the connection between certain music and certain strains of marijuana as far as pain relief for oncology patients and, of course, chronic pain patients, and how certain music mixed with certain marijuana
Has a combative effect.
yes.
And so what music in particular? Not...
It was in not in the Journal of the American Medical Association.
They didn't
It was
recommend
in,
listening
New
to
England Journal of Medicine.
Cream or something, or no Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. We're not sure.
Well, what they found was that marching music, like John Philip Sousa,
Oh, okay.
and
Kind of orchestral music.
more of the the marching dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
That
That's some
combined
peppy-
with
peppy
a
stuff.
good Panama Red.
Panama
Or
Red and
perhaps
John
some-
Philip Sousa together is what they recommend for pain.
Some
That's what
Canadian
you're saying.
weed, or maybe some Burmese, or the
So
train
when did you
wreck.
say this study was?
With that, combined with the brass band music, got the best result, and that was just
You know,
All right.
as crazy as this might sound, he's mostly right. And back
Yeah.
in the 60s, back in 68, 69, they came up with a record. It was a parody of that called The Child's Garden of Grass.
I remember that by Margolis, and Margolis was one of the authors for sure of that Child's Garden.
And that explains
It was
why
a
your
book
4th of July.
and a record.
Oh, wow, I didn't know it was a
Yeah, it was a record it was a single record, but it would fold open so you could clean the seeds out of your 70s era cannabis back
and
in
that
the
explains
day.
why your 4th of July parties are always a hit, too.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of my favorite holidays. I don't know.
I always
Some
like
people don't like
cleaning seeds.
Well, fortunately, we don't. With your buds and recent, sensimilla techniques since the 70s, starting in the late 70s, early 80s, we've seen a dramatic increase in cannabis. So do you want to tell us anything about your variety?
Well, I'm a disabled veteran.
Right,
and
as am I, and I know he's a veteran, but maybe not disabled. I don't know.
Well, people think maybe, you know.
I
Yeah,
just say,
well, we know that.
God bless you and thank you for your service.
Yeah, you too. You too.
But I created this so it would relieve the pain and the issues that I was having. Nausea was.
This
really
is
extreme.
really a big
So,
bud there. So
So
this thing must have been twice that size when it was wet,
about
right?
the size of my head.
Yeah.
Usually part shrinks up 75 to 80%.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so thought we'd
That's
just have a
quite
little
the flower.
taste of it. And
The
well,
nose
anyways,
has
I
very
made- I-
sweet aroma.
I made this strain that's really resinous so that you can make oil out of it. You can condense it so it would help my pain and other issues. But this is like another form of wild zombie I call Zombie Universe. I took a University of Washington plant. and
Oh, hold on just a second. I just noticed your microphone has gone somewhere. And so we need to replace this microphone with that microphone. I'll tell you what, let's come back. Well, go ahead. So you were talking about your variety. And you,
So I was saying about this particular variety.
it's live television. We're all volunteers here, folks.
Last year, my girlfriend was not happy with the taste of my wild zombie, and it's
I know.
like, okay, I understand. Everybody has a different taste, so I said, next year I'll grow something that will knock your socks off. So I grew what was my cross between University of Washington and my wild zombie. It's a real sweet, which I call a very commercial pot. Normally, my pot is a heady, aromatic, eucalyptus type. But this is a more sweet, flowery kind of taste, and so I made it in, just to make her happy.
All right. Well, that's one. It's important.
But
to
it
have
does
a
the
happy-
same thing.
Happy homemade.
Can I expand upon this for a second?
Please.
About medicine, you hear about the FICO, which is the full extract cannabis oil, and you hear about these other things. It doesn't matter. BHO or whatever oil you use is going to help you with your cancer and with your tumors and stuff. BHO is just a stronger type of FICO. It's just made differently, but it works the same. Just like marijuana buds. Yeah, CBD will be really important if you have seizures and stuff, but you're going to need the whole bud. You're going to need the THC and all the properties. I push THCA a lot because it's known to cure cancer. It's not a speculation. This is something they have hard evidence on through JAMA, Journal of
Well, yeah, a
American
lot of
Medicine.
people are having different reactions to the oils. So how do you consume the oils for cannabis? Because I know even senior citizens who have been smoking cannabis for years and understand the effects of cannabis, if they have like one too many brownies, are oblivious to the fact that that's what the problem is, and they might think they're having a heart attack or a stroke, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
they run off to the emergency room and they're going, "Have you had any brownies today?" You're like, "Yeah." And, right?
Yes, sir.
So
That's
now,
just
so how do you consume the oil? That's what I think is the problem. The doctor going, take this much and do this, and here's your reaction.
That's actually, you have to quantify how much medicine you need. And it doesn't take more than 5% to start the initial effects of a reaction. When you consume any type of cannabis, it reacts a lot quicker. Marijuana decarboxylates in a different way when it goes into your body. And being on TV, my brain is frozen up a little bit.
You'll get used to
I
it.
can't actually think of everything, but what it does is it changes, and you'll get higher when you eat it. You just got to eat less of an amount till you build up. It's like, okay, to quantify the cure for cancer, it takes 60 grams in 60 days for stages 1 and 2, and stages 3 and 4, it takes 120 grams in 120 days. How are you going to just take 1 gram or 2 grams? You can't. You've got to start with something the size of a grain of rice for a week, and then move up to a 1/4 gram, and then move up until you get to that gram.
It's pretty psychoactive. That high
sir.
cannabinoid, they call it. Some people call it Phoenix Tears. Some people call it Rick Simpson oil. But that is very, very stony stuff, and patients have to get used to that.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got somebody here in the audience that I know helps people with that. Go right ahead, John.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Hey.
I just wanted to say that, there's a very definitive, there's a set of very definitive protocols for all of the different diseases, including cancer, which is recommended 60 grams in 90 days. And it doesn't cure, it heals.
Okay.
Nothing can cure it.
I use the wrong word when I say
Yeah.
cures.
And there's a book that's online. It's free. It's called The Cure for Cancer. I know. I just said, but you know, Rick Simpson wrote it along with this guy named Judrick Beyer.
Heinrich Bayer?
Yeah. Anyway, the protocols are all there. If anybody wants to go look them up, it's free.
You know, it's
So,
really important
the price
that
is right.
People understand that it's not going to work for all cancers, won't be cured, all tumors won't be cured, but some will, and there's always going to be a different number. Like John here just said, 60 grams in 90 days, which is about 3/4 of a gram. Now, when I talk
Yeah,
about
that's a big
60
dose.
grams, I'm talking about 60 grams of pure oil. Now, whether it's 100% THCA or 80% THCA and 20% CBDs, I haven't quite quantified that, because when you're just a little guy doing, you know, laboratory experiments through these labs and you don't have much money, it's hard to do things. So we need more experimentation.
And there will be that. Now, I know you've made several videos, and this is a television show, and so you were kind enough to bring some videos on. So I know the studio has, I think you brought 3 video clips, right?
Oh, what it was a documentary on me by Yoshiaki Hatanaka.
A Japanese filmmaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you brought 3 excerpts from that documentary.
Yeah, if they can
And
be pulled off, they're great.
here we go. I think have they got it ready? Let's run that video. We'll be back in just a moment.
I've always been a marijuana activist for 38 years, but since 1975, National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. But I really didn't think that I was going to see legalization. I started to support it, and I started to support Paul Stanford's movements.
All right, I'm going to bring up a guy to speak right now. He's been an advocate for a long time. He's here for you right now. Give it up for Marijuana Max!
Hi, everybody. And my friends out there, I love you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I
It's so
appreciate
much
that.
work you put into this, and people don't understand all the things you did with fighting with the city for years and years, and they always give you problems on it, but every
Yeah.
year you prevail. And
Persistence
thankfully-
is the key. And so we'll be persistent this year and next year in all. You know, that's the key to success, I think. Don't you?
Yes, sir.
So we have another video clip. Oh, and by the way, if you're out there and you have a question for Max, Casper, or myself about medical marijuana, industrial hemp, or anything to do with those topics, give us a call at the number there on your screen, 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442.
Did we get any responses from last week's?
Yeah, we had a couple of Mafiuscos call up and say, we want to talk to Casper. We want to see, you know, about the leads.
The extra work?
Yeah, well, we told him we don't do that. And
Oh.
he shouldn't have been talking that way on our TV show.
Darn it, you could have
That's
passed me my phone number. I would have
crazy
chatted with her.
idea.
Yeah, well.
I won't be an accessory to such things. I'll tell you that. I won't. But
Did you see last week's show?
No, I missed it. I'm
he's a
processing
comedian,
moving.
and so he was saying
Put out
some
a call
stuff.
for a hitman last
Well,
week.
I told him not to say that, and you said you weren't going to say that anymore.
Oh, I didn't
including
say
this
it.
week.
I didn't
Okay.
say it this week. I didn't say we wanted a hitman. I wouldn't do that. Gosh, no.
We
That would
don't.
be wrong to do that.
We
You know, if
don't.
you're looking
That's
for an
a
extra work,
horrific thing.
we got a couple of
It's
targets for you to work
irrevocable. It's just a horrible thing, and I would never even
with. Call that number there.
dream of such a thing.
We'd never do that.
But Max, our next video segment. Do you know what it's going to be? I think it's a
Yeah.
longer
It's the global
segment.
cannabis, the global cannabis march that you put on.
Okay.
That's another thing you do. Thankful for.
Well,
for
it's a
people
team of it.
too,
It's
you
not
know?
just me. I can't do these things by myself. It's our family, you know, our community. And, you know, I've happened to
Lead
be
the way.
able and have this as a platform to talk to people and educate people and tell them, look, they haven't busted me again yet. You can come out of the closet and join us and end marijuana prohibition. And like you said, you thought it would never happen. I don't know how many times, hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times as I was petitioning. Over the years, I gathered over 10,000 signatures to legalize marijuana. So at about 10 to 15 signatures an hour, that's a lot of hours. But we finally did it, and I had so many people say, "You're never going to do it. You're just wasting your time. It's not going to happen." And that's what they told me in 1984 when I started petitioning here in Oregon. And that's what they kept telling me all the way up to 2012 when we started seeing it happen in Washington and Colorado, and we came so close with Measure 80. I spent a small fortune on putting on the ballot, but we got 47% of the vote, and then we passed it with Measure 91 in 2014. So we crossed the line, and many states, California, Massachusetts, Maine, and others passed it just this last November. And Florida went medicinal with like 71% of the vote.
Yes, sir.
And this is a good opportunity to give kudos to Bill Apple in there and his lovely wife, Red.
Bill Appel.
They really are his right hand because of
they help a lot, and they're
all the
both
work they
he and
do.
I are under
They're
attack
great.
by this Canadian-Israeli petrochemical company. And we've recently discovered there's also a Tel Aviv Israeli pharmaceutical company that are attacking us, and Bill Appel and I have both been individually sued by our own companies. And they say they own my name. They say they own this show's name, Cannabis Common Sense. They claim they own everything I've done in my life. But, I'm going to keep fighting it. And I will never surrender to the forces of evil. It's really over these years, I've repeated Gatewood Galbraith's statement, a lawyer from Kentucky, who introduced me to Willie Nelson back in 1990, 27 years ago. But he's talked about the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate elite, fascist sons of a bitches. And they're the ones who have made marijuana illegal. So it's no small coincidence now I have a petrochemical company and a pharmaceutical company trying to take me out. But fortunately, we have a low-budget platform here. They complained about this platform in their small mountain court. We're just in the early stages of our court battle. And these guys have definitely spent well over $500,000 in stealing our clinics, our medical records, and everything we've done in our life. If you want to get involved in that, or you need help getting a physician's recommendation for medical marijuana, you can call us at this number. It's 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. That number. And if you're outside of the area, you can call 503-235-4606, or you can call 888-499-THCF or 8423. We can certainly use your help. We're going to be filing a class action suit on behalf of our patients' medical privacy. So contact us, and you can help in that effort. And if you have any of these conditions, we have doctors who can help you get a medical marijuana card, both here in Portland and around the country. We'd be happy to refer you to those doctors. We have a free referral system. Just call us again at 503-235-4606. Now, I understand we have a phone call standing by, so let's take that phone call. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I was wondering what Max thought about Sessions and his being against medical marijuana and recreational, and whether Trump's going to back him and go back to what we used to be, 20, 30 years ago. And don't go to Florida, Max.
Oh, sure. Well, let me tell you, you don't have to worry about Jeff Sessions. He's a constitutionalist. He believes in strictly following the law. He went to Congress and he tells you, and this is really important, he says if you want to make marijuana legal, you got to get Congress to vote for it. You got to get out there yourself. And that's why I'm advocating voting to legalize marijuana, because he's going to follow the law. He's a constitutionalist, meaning if you make it legal, it'll be legal. But until it's legal in all 50 states and federally, which means we have to end federal hemp prohibition, it's not legal. We got the fight. So we just have to keep working towards voting to legalize it. As for Trump backing him up, Trump has no interest in taking a political stance against marijuana. He's a financial businessman at heart, and all he wants to do is make money. So,
Well, and that's also the message that law enforcement against prohibition likes to put out, is that as a police officer or a sheriff or someone who's involved with enforcing law enforcement, that's their job. They can't go out and cherry pick what laws they will enforce and what laws they won't enforce. And so the people at law enforcement against prohibition make it very clear that if you don't like the laws that are being enforced, then you have to change the laws.
And here in Oregon, our legislators have been leading the charge.
Yes.
Earl Blumenauer in the House of Representatives has joined Jared Palas from Boulder, Colorado, and Steve King from Tennessee, and Dana Rohrabacher, a conservative Republican from down in Orange County, California. He's actually my mom's and sister's legislator down
I grew
there.
up down there.
Oh, okay.
Dana.
I spend every Christmas there. But, you know, we've got to push that through, and we have our
Am I still
two
on?
senators in Oregon, and Merkley.
Yes, you're
and,
still on.
the other one, Ron
I won.
Wyden. That's it. Oh, he was on.
And that's
Sorry
it.
about that.
Carl Olson would also reiterate that, you know,
I
in
know,
states like
Iowa activist.
yeah,
Carl
and
Olson
a
of
very
Iowa.
very hardworking activist too. That when people in California and other states would talk about how it was legal in their states, he would remind everybody that even though you're setting up these businesses and you're putting forward all these great initiatives, the truth of the matter is it is still on the books as an illegal substance, and until we change the law, we will always have to deal with that.
That's correct.
And so that is the truth. And you can't be agitated at people who are hired to enforce the law when they enforce the law.
We have another phone caller. Let's take that call. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, hi. This is Vinny in Vancouver. I was recently diagnosed with bladder cancer, and I had tumors removed just the day before yesterday. They couldn't get it all, and we don't know what type of cancer it is yet until the biopsies come back. But I was very interested in the strain that the gentleman in the middle is showing there in his jar.
Tell them about it, Max.
Yeah, is that
He's interested in your
what's
strain.
good for? That's what's good for cancer.
Oh, yeah. Well, my wild zombie, yes, there is a lot of strong properties within it, but any marijuana that is strong with CBG, CBDs, you know, and your THCA is going to be good for cancer. These are the ones, the properties within cannabis that are known to cure cancer. I was working on a seed line for a while, but right now I'm had to put everything on hold.
So you're moving off to Florida. That's
Yes,
something
sir.
one of the viewers recognized. You've been here in Oregon for how long?
About 11 years.
11 years, and now you're going to Florida. Had you been from Florida before?
No, sir. We just legalized marijuana here a couple
Yeah.
years ago. Well,
It's
they
time
have
to change things in
There
Florida.
you go.
Oh, you're going to love Florida. It is a cockroach-eating place.
We have another video off of Max's, the documentary that this Japanese filmmaker made about Max. And we'll be back right after we roll this clip. Enjoy.
The Global Cannabis March. Then we all get together, and even if people don't agree with each other's views, sometimes we'll set them aside to be able to work towards a common goal of legalization.
Marijuana wasn't legal when I moved here, and I really was not into so much as thinking that it would be legal. I've always been a marijuana activist. For 38 years I've been a marijuana activist, since 1975, and I first supported NORML, National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. That's when I was in Hawaii. I became an activist, but I really didn't think that I was going to see legalization.
I'd say it's a party, but it's more of a social event where we get together to socialize, to bring camaraderie together. And it's more or less what I'm trying to do is bring the awareness of cannabis legalization. And by supporting clubs, I'm saying that, look, we have the freedom to use cannabis recreationally. This is Madeline, the owner of the world-famous Cannabis Cafe, and she's a good friend of mine, and she's hosting this event that's going on this evening, and it turns into quite a party.
Welcome home.
Okay, so there you were in the march and at the world famous Cannabis Club. Unfortunately, clean air rules forced them and the other spot and a couple
TOS,
other
yeah.
places to close down. And so there's just one left open right now as far as I know.
WCC,
Yeah, and so hopefully changes in the legislature with our state legislators will allow those to open back up, don't we? We can hope that that bill will go through.
That's going to be a tough hill to climb.
Yeah, we're going to have Anthony Taylor from Compassionate Oregonian on in a couple of weeks, not next week, but the week after, to talk about how the legislative bills that need to be supported to help allow clubs like that and save the medical marijuana program are needed. So we urge you to contact your state legislators and support allowing indoor cannabis use for adults only facilities like bars do for alcohol, and also to save the medical marijuana program and allow the growers to be able to sell to the larger market. I think there's some movement on that as well, and he'll be on to talk about that in the coming week. So again, we take your phone calls, and we have at the number on your screen, we have a caller standing by. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to make a comment and ask you a question.
Okay.
I noticed you've lost weight, and do you remember our kids used to go to school together way before THCF cleansing?
Yeah, back when they were in preschool even, and now they're in their mid-20s.
Back when and we were going to the house, Dr. Levesque. And
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to ask you, I haven't been growing for a while, but I'm back again, and I wanted to know, what is the limit for a medical marijuana grower residentially here in Portland?
So basically you can have 12 plants outdoors and 24 plants indoors with a medical marijuana permit. And if you have less than 12 plants at your own residence or a piece of property that you own, and those are medical plants, then you don't have to pay a grower fee to the state unless you want to sell it to the dispensary. So there's several caveats, 4 different criteria that make it where you have to pay a grower fee to the state and make monthly reports to the Oregon Health Authority under the current rules, unless they get changed in the legislature. And they've changed several times. But basically that's the limit, 12 or 24. And so, and that does not include your 4 plants for adult use. So if you can grow 12 medically, 2 patients for 6 each, then you can also grow 4 more. So you can have up to 16 plants budding with 2 medical marijuana permits.
Wow.
But
So
there's also no limit on vegetating
my son's
plants.
A caregiver.
Let me reiterate there, excuse me. There's no limit on vegetating plants now. You can have, any adult can have an unlimited number of vegetating plants, but it's once they start flowering, then they count toward that limit.
I see. So it has nothing to do with height or width.
Right. Exactly.
Oh,
no
most
longer.
excellent. Hey, thank you. You're always a wealth of information. Good health to you.
Thank
and your wife, too, and the kids. So much love, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Somebody doesn't have a medical cannabis.
Then you can have 4 per household.
Right.
4 budding plants per household.
And what can
any
you,
adult.
What can you do with the excess cannabis that you grow?
You can give it to your friends and neighbors, but you can't sell it anywhere.
You can't sell like to a dispensary
No, not unless you have a medical marijuana card to sell to a medical dispensary, or to sell to a recreational adult use dispensary. You have to have an OLCC permit from the Oregon Liquor Control Commission. Okay. We have another call, though. Welcome to the show, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, there's a 6-second delay on what goes out on television.
Okay.
Did you have a question? Just, okay. Well, we tried.
This bud's for you.
If you have a question or comment out there, then you can call us at that number there on your screen, 503-288-4442. That's 503-288-4442. So obviously, going to Florida, are you tired of the rain?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
The cloudy weather over the winter has depressed me. Being I'm a disabled veteran, I use the cannabis, and it helps, yeah. But I'm at a point where the government said, yeah, you're 100% disabled and we're going to give you money and let you do whatever you want. So I says, I'm going to buy a house in Florida and go away.
Houses are a lot cheaper in Florida.
Less than half they are here.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
goodness.
and they're nice. Almost everyone has a pool there.
Yeah.
You know, and a big dome over their pool.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
To keep the geckos and the anole, little
And the
lizards
alligators out now.
The alligators.
And the mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes especially.
Palmetto bugs.
And the pythons. Yeah.
Some of them still get
50 different
through.
types of snakes.
It's an amazing place down there, and it's flat. And hopefully you won't run into a big sinkhole, you know.
They got Q-tips that drive.
We have another caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes. My name is Ryan, and I'm a medical patient, and I was wondering if I have my grower that is growing my medical plants at a different area than where I'm living, am I still able to have 4 plants as recreational plants at my own home, at my own
Yes, sir.
house?
Yes, sir. Every household can have 4 flowering plants at their own home.
That is a beautiful thing to know.
It is,
Thank you
isn't
so
it?
much
That's a
for the
wonderful
knowledge
thing.
tonight.
So we can thank the voters of Oregon and a lifetime of our activist efforts to finally change that. And every single one of you out there who voted for it.
Excellent. Yancey and Koji are included. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Getting some good questions tonight.
Yeah, that is true. We have another clip, I think. There was a third clip that was isolated here. And so we're ready to roll that clip. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Straight up in less than 15 minutes. I'ma be gone in 15 minutes. My brother starts to work as soon as I hit it. You can have some too. Take it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Gonna have you gone straight up in less than 15 minutes.
I'm having a good time just standing out here watching what's going out in the crowd. I want to thank you very much for all your support, for everyone that's come here, and for all your continued support in Hempstock. To my friends out there, I love you. We want to say legalize marijuana nationwide. Thank you very much for letting me speak, and I wish you all a very good evening. Peace, love. BTLM, vote to legalize marijuana.
Thank you,
One
brother.
more time for Marijuana Max. Papers, T-shirts, vote to legalize marijuana. He's amazing. Marijuana Max. All right, how about some comedy? You guys want to hear some jokes? Say yes.
Wow, I've had so much fun tonight. Oh my God, Hempstock 2015, what a blast. So many friends, so many faces. People came in from all across Portland, and we had a really good time talking about the legalization of marijuana. Much more exciting because here we are legal, and it's 2015.
Okay, final scene. Yeah, that's at your house. So you won't have that bright sunny day anymore, but it'll be different there in Florida.
I had so much fun at Hempstock. It was such a blast there. It really helps get the message out there, and people should know this is a family-friendly event that you can bring your kids, and I'm not sure about the dogs there, but bring your children and have fun and participate, enjoy sharing with the vendors. Everybody's nice and helpful and kind, and nobody really wants to give you a bad time.
There's never been any violent event at our Hempstock Festival, though the city makes us always prepare for one. But that's okay, because we need to be prepared. We have a caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi.
Hey.
I was just wondering, I got two different messages. I thought you said that 28 plants were allowed, or 24 plants were allowed inside, no height, no width limitations, and then you said only 4 could be budding. So I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll clarify.
I just got a card and I want to start growing.
Okay, so you have 1 card in your household?
Yes.
So as a medical patient, you can have an unlimited number of clones or non-flowering plants, and you can have 6 flowering plants. And as an adult, you can also have 4 plants per household. So if you have 1 adult medical marijuana patient in the household, you can flower your 6 medical plants, and your 4 adult use plants. So you can grow a total of 10 flowering plants.
Can you add another medical card to that?
You can. You can add another medical card and bring that up to 12 and 4. And if you're at that level and both patients live at that house and you're not going to sell any to dispensaries, then you don't have to register with the health department and pay an extra $200 annual fee. However, if you want to be able to sell any to medical dispensaries, and that's a hard market right now, or you want to grow more than 2 patients worth, or 12 medical plants and 4 recreational plants, then you have to pay that fee and do a monthly report online to the Oregon Health Authority.
Okay, great. I think I got it. Thank you.
All right. Glad to clarify that. It is
Max,
very
bro,
confusing.
don't go to Florida.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. But they need me there.
They do. They do.
So are these forms that you fill out online a pain in the neck? Are they easy?
Yeah, they
or
are.
what?
They're easy, but they're still a pain in the neck. I mean, anything you have to. And so far, to my knowledge, the Oregon Health Authority, used to be the Oregon Health Department, but for some reason they wanted to be an authority. And I'm an anti-authoritarian at heart, so I don't like that change. And so anyway, the Oregon Health Authority has not gone and inventoried those or inspected anybody at all, and says they don't have the time. Now, it was taking them 2 or 3 months to issue a medical marijuana permit, but I'm very happy to report that now they have that down to less than 2 weeks from the time you pay them the money. And for most people, the annual fee as a patient is $200. But if you're on food stamps, it's $50. Or if you're on SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income from Social Security, or you're a veteran, then it is $20. If you're a U.S. military veteran, like the 3 of us, then it's just a $20 annual fee. But then there's that extra grower fee you have to pay if you don't grow at your house, or your grower wants to sell some to the dispensaries, or you have more than 2 patients at your own house grow location.
So then if you're just a grower who wants to just sell to dispensaries, you need a $200 license from the state?
You need a medical marijuana patient to be able to grow 6 plants, and you have to pay that annual extra $200 fee on top of the patient fee.
Oh, no, I mean...
And you have to report to the state.
No medical marijuana patient involved, just a...
No, you cannot sell anything to anyone without a license.
That's
you
what
have
I mean.
to have,
So how do you get that license?
If you're getting a medical license, then you get that from when a patient applies. They turn in your ID and information, a photocopy of your ID.
No medical license involved. Let's just
if
say...
you want just for the OLCC market, which is much larger than the medical market, then you have to have an OLCC license. Okay. So, and that is a lot more involved in terms, and they do actively inspect before you can start growing. And they're nice people. I've been at a couple of places when the OLCC inspectors came, and it was overall a very pleasant experience, I'm happy to report.
I know friends around here who are not medical patients, but they love growing, and they want to just grow for dispensaries.
They have to get that OLCC license, and then there's very strict rules around zoning and where it can be grown.
Okay.
And there are a lot of various rules. I'm not going to try to detail them here. All right, we have another caller. Welcome to the show, caller. We're down to a little less than 9 minutes to go. Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm not really a resident of Portland. I kind of got here accidentally. I broke my ankle and then ended up staying here for a year. Oh. But what's really helping me, I've had fibromyalgia, diagnosed since 1999 when nobody knew anything about it. I've just turned on to CBD, and I can't believe that the pain relief is 100% for me, which has been significant. I spent 5 years bedridden with fibromyalgia when nobody knew what to do with it in 1999. I have a question, though, about CBD. People have told me that I should add some THC, and also that I need to know, is it something you should be taking continuously to keep some in your system, or do you take it as needed?
I would take it continuously and then take a larger dose for breakthrough pain. This is a tincture that one of our audience members makes, and it's based in glycerin. And so it lasts longer when you take this medicine orally. There are several ways to extract it, but a glycerin tincture is one of the best ways for oral administration. And so, and we have, did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
No, I'm just wondering where do I get this tincture? What's the name of it, or what?
Well, this is, you know, you just have to go in the dispensaries and ask for it at the various dispensaries. If you have a medical card, you can get it cheaper, untaxed, at the medical dispensaries.
All right. Well, I thank you so much. This is such a miracle drug. I don't know.
It really is. It's a miracle in many different ways. Not only is it a miracle drug, it's also the oldest crop that's been cultivated at least 12,000, maybe 25,000 years. And it produces more seed oil like this flame here. It will run your diesel engine with no conversion. That's why it's illegal, because it will run a diesel engine with no conversion to modern diesel engines. And it's a hemp fiber for canvas, rope, lace, linen. It's just a miracle plant, and humans have co-evolved with cannabis for over 30,000 years, I believe. And
well, I'm telling you, I've had this pain since 1999. I'm a former attorney for 36 years, trial attorney, and it was brutal, really brutal. Yeah. And I'm telling you, this is a miracle drug. I just found this week. So thank you. The work you're doing is really significant and important to inform.
Thank you. We keep trying. Thank you for
All right.
watching.
Thank you
for sharing.
Yeah, that was a great call. So we have another call, and then we have a studio audience question. So let's take the phone call first. Welcome to the show, caller.
Yes.
Hey.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Pretty good. I was just listening to your program. I usually record it so I don't miss it.
Uh-huh.
And last year when I was getting my license renewed, I always go to the THC place.
Yeah.
Over in Oregon. I always go there.
Yeah.
Been going there since 2008. Anyways, they asked me if I wanted my Oregon license. And I didn't see no need for it. Well, I just found out that if I pass all the tests in Oregon, I can sell my surplus medical to the dispensaries over there.
That's right.
And yes. And even though I live in Washington, I didn't know if I could do that or not.
No, if you're growing it in Washington, you have to actually grow it in Oregon. And so you have to, it used to be an out-of-state resident could get an Oregon permit, but they ended that. The legislature, in their not so infinite wisdom, made a decision to end that. And so now you have to be a state resident and prove state residency to get a medical marijuana card.
Because I grow organically, I grow indoors, and I passed the big mold test, the big pesticide test.
Right.
And actually, I had a broker approach me from the test.
Yeah. I would say hopefully they will change that rule at some point in the future, but again, it's the federal laws that have interfered with our ability to move cannabis from one state to another. And now we have a studio audience member who has a question or comment. Go right ahead, Sylvia, a longtime activist and friend here in our studio audience.
Thanks, Paul.
Hey.
I just wanted to say that maybe the lady with the fibroid myalgia might want to come down to the show live and talk to other people more directly
we
about
do this show live
what
every
can help.
Friday night. There's probably about 15 or 20 people in our studio audience tonight. The people come down and give away clones in our audience, and we always have our after show party that if you want to come down, we have the live show. This is what we'll be vaping and smoking tonight. And so you're welcome to come down. Our live show is at 2766 Northeast MLK or Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. That's 2766 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. It used to be called Portland Community Media. Before that, it was Portland Cable Access. They just changed their name to Open Source Media, I believe. It's a new name. Everything keeps changing its name. That's Open Signal. Open Signal.
Oh, I was just like, well, speaking
Thanks.
of open source, Congress has got some things that they're looking at.
You know, we're down to just 3 minutes.
Right?
They do.
Right.
But you should make a plug for your radio empire.
Well, it's not like me to ever plug my own network, but thank you for the opportunity to let people know that there is a thing called timeforhemp.com, time-for-hemp.com, the number 4. Check it out. You go there. We got a live stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that's heard on iHeartRadio, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, anywhere there is sound found on the internet. We are around making sound on the internet. We're on Roku TV. We got free archives. You can download all kinds of great MP3s from there. about almost 80 songs you can download for free. Even get a free vaporizer. Learn how to get a free vaporizer by going to time-for-hemp.com. And thank you, Paul, for allowing me to do this.
There are hyphens in there?
There's
See,
hyphens in there.
There aren't hyphens on our
well,
screen.
if you go to there, it'll still take you to
so
the...
you got them all.
I got it all married together, so even if you
com.
go to the wrong one, it'll take you to the right
So,
one.
Max, you're on Facebook. Look up Max Bortnick or Marijuana Max.
Yes, and I'm also on YouTube.
Okay.
Hundreds of videos, and there's over 30,000 pictures on Facebook. I encourage people to take these, especially with the message VTLM, or take a picture. As long as it's positive, it's not going to be used against me in a bad way. You're welcome to use it for free to get the message out to vote to legalize marijuana. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on, and good luck in Florida.
Thank you, Paul. I love you.
hope everything passes well down there. I want to thank you, viewers, again. If you, our loved one, need help finding a medical marijuana physician, we have physicians available. You can call us at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. And so if you want to get involved, if you have been a medical patient at THCF Medical Clinics, please know that I've had an Israeli pharmaceutical company, an oil company come in and take over my clinic at 18th Avenue. Even though my voice is on the phone saying it's THCF Medical Clinic, it's not THCF Medical Clinic anymore. It's Empower Healthcare. Now, I came up with that name, Empower Healthcare, but for the time being, with over $500,000 in lawyer fees, they've gone in and stolen it from me, but I will prevail in the end. We've set up a different medical clinic at our old political office at 2712 Northeast Sandy. So if you need help, you want to get involved in our lawsuit, or you want to come see our doctor, the original medical marijuana doctor service in this state, then give us a call at that number on your screen, 503-235-4606. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We are back live every week now for at least through the 4th of July. I want to thank Max, thank Casper, thank you. And here is John Cornett to take us out. Help us restore hemp.
Some folks like to make toast, some like rhubarb pie. I like when my vegetables get me a little high. May not be for everyone, may not fit your needs. This incredible edible vegetable is more than just a weed. Edible. I guess we'll end this.